why this distinction? Like, why do they break this up into, advice versus information?
Well, the reason is because there's been an awful lot of work, especially now with the availability of the internet.
Okay.
People can go online and get a lot of legal information for themselves, which arms them in many ways to be able to look after their own best interest if they find themselves in a legal conflict. But if you try to get legal advice from somebody as opposed to legal information, if you get legal advice from a person who's not authorized or trained to provide you with that advice, there can be very, very drastic and serious consequences for the rest of your life, because you're relying on advice that's being provided to you by somebody that doesn't actually have the skill set to do that. Again, so like an example that I'll use is like a family doctor or a surgeon. Your next door neighbor is a welder. Would you go to your next door neighbor to have your appendix taken out? I mean, you just don't know. Like the welder might well know that if your appendix becomes infected, it should be removed, and there's surgery that's required to do that, and where your appendix can be found. But they're certainly not qualified to take out that appendix or to advise you on ways of treating it either. I mean, that's just not what they do. It's totally out of their wheelhouse. So that's why it is so important. And the problem used to be is that people always used to think that all of this was the same. So if you needed to, if you had a question about a legal situation, that you really should be talking to a lawyer about it. And again, generally because of the consequences of what happens when you provide advice, lawyers have an obligation to make sure they're giving the best advice they can that's possible in the situation, to make sure what they're telling the client is accurate and what it should be, because if they don't, the lawyer can be sued. And now, because of that, most lawyers do not give legal advice for free. A lot of lawyers will provide legal information for free, but they won't give legal advice because their professional ability to practice even is on the line, never mind their reputation. If a lawyer can get sued for failing to provide appropriate, like if they don't provide appropriate legal advice, a lawyer can actually be disbarred and not allowed to practice law anymore. So for that reason, that's why lawyers charge for that services. They don't give it away for free because the liability and the possible consequences for the lawyer in their career are very, very serious if they're not doing everything they're supposed to when you enter that arena of providing legal advice. For the person who's receiving that advice, you want to make sure that you're getting it from somebody that has the skill and the expertise to steer you in the right direction. There's a lot of people that have listened to their Uncle Fred and said, well, when I got divorced, this is what we did. And oh, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. And then they go to court and they just get hammered. And again, that's the problem when you're taking legal advice from somebody who is not qualified or in a position to give you the right advice. So yeah, it is very important. And then it goes back to that point again about, well, first of all, for legal advice, it's worth exactly what you paid for it. If you get it free, it's, again, that's why lawyers say we don't give free legal advice. If you get free legal advice from somebody that's a lawyer, no skin off their nose. They don't care if your life falls down a pile of ashes because of them going ahead and proceeding what you're doing. So again, it's just a question of making sure that you're getting the advice and the information that you need. So then again, to circle back to the legal information piece, that again just means that if you've got legal information, it's not necessarily something you should have to pay for. You don't need to go to a lawyer to do it. Lawyers will give legal information away for free because there's no consequences to them and their professional responsibilities, because the information they're telling you is just a faster way of doing it than making you go and look it up yourself, because you can find that information yourself and carry on.
So, Helena, thanks very much for being with us here today, and thanks everyone for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to vote for us and put a like, and also subscribe to this channel so that you can be notified of our upcoming videos. And we'll see you at the next video. Bye.
Thanks, Heather. It was great. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.